We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello, and welcome to Icons, Powers on Payroll, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your GM for the day, Jason. And with me will be Mike as Whippet.
Hey.
Taylor as Skater Boy.
Howdy.
Curtis as the Influencer.
Hola.
And Marigold as the Boogeyman.
How y'all doing?
Alright, and last time you stopped a gang dressed as zombies from stealing Babylonian artifacts. You stopped their boss, who at least plays at being a vampire, from stealing, well, you're not really sure what she was there to steal. Something from the tech company above the museum. As well as another villain who was apparently trying to rob the place at the same time.
Popular joint.
They really need like a union or guild so they can coordinate this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps a legion.
Yes, legion. It's just embarrassing if they're stepping on each other's feet.
They're all evil. They're all super. They could be the League of Super Evil. So anyway, you caught one villain who appeared to have the power to put people to sleep and not to take a punch very well. Though I think it was actually the influencer that took him out with his mind control. But I think he resisted once, and then the influencer got him. But Nosferatu got away, and got away with one of her minions. And you will have found out by today. You will have found out that she managed to bust a couple more of them out.
So she stole something from tech and my character's naming convention.
Whippet's going to have to bring that up to her next time they meet. But all in all, your boss or your company liaison, Offerman, pretty pleased with your performance. The news crews ate it up. Because Henri, the villain that you call, big billowing cape, very fancy costume. So it made, good front page pictures and good news footage of him being, in costume, handcuffed, being marched out by the police. A couple weeks have passed.
Aren't you super visionaries?
Well, he had his hands cuffed, so he couldn't raise his fist and shake it at you. You get the impression that he's probably dramatic enough to do that, though, given the chance. Maybe I'll ask, please, nicely next time. Hey, can he be cuffed in the front at least?
Let him have a photo op.
But a week or two passes. Not a whole lot goes on. You scrambled out at one point when reports of a fight came in between Mr. Manhattan and a empowered female. Let me see here. Where was the display? There we go. The news eventually identified her as the Atomatrix. Appears to be a radiation-powered villain. What is the lady in your ear's name? Carol. She did a little research on her. The woman's appeared before apparently her and Manhattan have a history. But you get scrambled out for that, but she'd made her escape by the time you got there. Other than that, patrolling neighborhoods, small-time crimes, you're still out there being seen by the people, doing some good. But 2 weeks, 2 weeks later, you're doing some training. Offerman still has not gotten you, where there was talk of getting maybe a former hero, retired now, come in as your trainer. He has still got people asking around about that, but they haven't found anybody yet. There was a old World War II guy they were thinking about, but it turns out he's under contract with somebody else. He wouldn't say who, confidentiality agreements and all that, but it does mean that you're not the only people that have thought of that.
And again, is this training overall tactics or influencers' idea of presenting a more heroic image of the field, or both? Or?
Well, the old World War II hero we talked to, it would have been more of a tactics, teamwork together thing. He might not have been the best guy for public relations. Great back in the day, but some of his views have not aged well. So like I said, they're still looking around for that. They're somewhat limited because all they can really do is ask heroes they know if they know anybody to get in touch with them, or they can call up the very small handful of like former retired heroes whose identities are public. Public identities are starting to become a little more common now that heroes have got some legal recognition and kind of some legal cover. But people still aren't trusting the government, especially with all the spear conspiracy stuff that's come out, or controversy, I should say, that has come out.
You shove one beloved world-saving champion into a test tube to do dark experiments on him, and suddenly everybody's suspicious of you.
Whoa, they were studying him, not experimenting on him. They're not savages. I'm sure somebody over here was experimenting on the Myrmidon, but there's no proof that was the government. Sure, the original experiments that gave him his power, sure, but the capturing him and experimenting on that was probably somebody else. But y'all have been training in the morning. Just about time to take your break for lunch when the alarm sounds through the building. Or not through the building, through your comm links.
Aw, but they had rib witches today.
You hear Dennis over your comms. He's the support guy that's on shift right now. I'll call down to the kitchen and try to get him to save you some.
You are a saint and a god among men.
Showtime.
So y'all are scrambling for your costumes. Dennis is giving you the rundown, as you're getting dressed. We've got a super-powered conflict going on. He rattles off the street. I'm not familiar enough with Detroit streets, but it's over in an industrial setting.
If you're looking... Oh, okay.
As you're loading up in the flyer, on the screens, as you take off, he's putting up some of the news footage. You see a woman in armor. She's fighting a group of men, kind of in paramilitary getup. One of them is clearly superhuman just based on his size. Imagine somebody built like the Hulk or the Juggernaut. You know, that kind of really, really swole. He's between 7-8 feet tall, and just swole up way beyond what the human body can actually do. So he's like, this fight started up 5 minutes ago, or was reported 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes before I sounded the alarm.
But they don't know who these people are, right?
No. He goes, I've got the database. I've got the computer checking through the database on powered armor types that we know of. I'm not getting any matches yet, but you know how the inventor types are. They're always coming up with something new. So it might be somebody established in a new suit. I don't know. I'm also running facial recognition on the paramilitary guys. We've identified two of the, I guess, normal looking guys. Mount Elliott Development District. That's where this is at. And so far, the two he's gotten hits back on, they appear to be mercenaries. Like normal, mercenaries, not, no previous history of like supervillainy or anything.
So this very swole dude is not one of the mercs?
He is fighting alongside them. He seems to be part of that group, yes.
Okay.
We just haven't gotten a hit back on the facial recognition hasn't come up with anything on him yet. But people are evacuating the area. The police are starting to cordon the area off. They're a little hesitant to get directly involved while the superpowers are still flying around. But they are trying to get a few people out. He's like, ambulances have already arrived. They're waiting at the line the police have set up. So as soon as the situation is stable, we'll notify them and let them come flooding in. As you fly in, you see the street they're fighting on has taken some damage, of course, and kind of at the start, there's a business there with like a big hole blown in the wall.
What's the business?
Let's see. Dennis does. You hear some quick typing from Dennis. He goes, it's Danny. Let me see if I'm reading this name right. Danny Jumbuck's Wreckers and Accumulators. It looks like are they recyclers? It's like they collect salvage. They seem to specialize in stuff left over from superhero fights. Oh, okay. They've got a research wing that tries to reverse engineer stuff, alien tech. Oh, okay. Well, it makes sense that they're there then. You got a lot of tech, companies. So, like Futuro, you've got other tech companies trying to move in and use some of this, abandoned and shut down industrial space.
So we are walking into two dipshits and a dumbass fighting over loot inside the building over there.
Quite possibly. Like I said, we don't know who the armored person is, or who tall, dark, and handsome there is. He's like, that sounds more like something Carol would say. All right. So let's see, is it one of y'all that pilots the Detroit Electric Flyer, or is it? Do y'all have a pilot? I forget.
Pretty sure we had to get a pilot because none of us had the piloting skill.
Oh, that's right.
Yep,
Some of
that
you
was
are
a-
coordinated
that was
enough;
last
you could
campaign
probably
arc.
do it, but
No.
in that case, your pilot comes in low. It sort of like opens the side door and just sort of turns, and he's literally just hovering because as soon as y'all are off, he's getting out, getting the heck out of Dodge. He'll go sit down a block or two over. He saw an empty parking lot over there. He's gonna park there, and y'all can call him in just whenever you need him. He's former military. He's done extractions, before. So
All right. Are we just like gonna go in there guns blazing?
Looks like sounds like the guns are already blazing.
I could probably whip up something to, like another smoke bomb to, or better yet, maybe something gum up any weaponry. Nope. Did I lose connection?
no.
I hear you.
Okay, everything just went swirly and still for a second.
It might have been a connection if we went too still.
You know what? Let me make some stun bombs real quick, and we can just throw that stuff right into the midst of this.
All right. So as you come swooping down, you see the big guy.
That is, in fact, a very big guy.
Yep. As you land, as the
Not
door
happy
opens,
looking.
you're just seeing you're seeing him pick up a car, and chunk it at the armored suited. Pretty sure it's a woman at this point, who's flying in the air. She dodges out of the way. It hits the building behind. Some glass falls. The car, it's sticking half out of the building. It starts to slide out. You hear a scream from the sidewalk below. A mother was like running by with her child as the car slips out and starts to fall. Your armor-suited character gets over there and kind of catches it and is like straining. And as she's doing that, the other guys are like opening fire with some sort of rifles. They look like fairly typical guns at the kind of distance y'all are at, but they're firing some sort of energy blast.
Well, smallest asshole is confirmed, so yeah, let's focus on the paramilitary guys.
Okay.
Like, all right. And I will toss down the Spray on Knee Pads Party Edition at the door and jump on out.
Everybody basically runs to the cloud of the stuff they're jumping out. All right. Boogeyman, do you want to give me a
That's
roll
great
for that
stuff.
gadget?
Sure. I had forgotten last session that I can apply either my science or technology specialty to the roll, but it can't bring the effect of the gadget above my normal rank.
It's just for the
So it just
skill
makes it
roll
easier
to get it cobbled together. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Just gave myself massive brain damage there for a second. All right, that fixed that.
All right, so you got a 13. And what is the level of the gadget you're building?
5.
All right. Oop, I need to open my utility character sheet. I need it every game, and every game I forget to open it ahead of time.
Oh, look at that.
All right, so that's a plus. So that's a 5 plus the die roll. So 8 was the number you needed to beat. A 13 certainly beats that.
Hey.
So you've got the gadget. As you all jump out, give me initiative rolls. This will be your coordination. Alright, Skater Boy got a 10. Boogeyman got a 6. Influencer got an 8.
Still looks like
And
last
me.
And Whip-Out got a 9. Alright. As you jump out, you also get a better look at the armored suited woman. It is not an outfit you've seen before, but
He looks friendlier than the big guy.
you know, most people look friendlier than somebody throwing a card for somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
go figure. But all right, top of the order first. Let me bring these guys up to the token level. All right. Top of the order at 10 is Skater Boy.
On my board, I'll go ahead and super speed through and try to get the lady and child out.
Okay, not a problem. Go ahead and give me a coordination roll. Just because they've been, like I said, they've been fighting here. The streets damaged some.
Yeah.
That's
Could I use? Will my athletic specialty help with this?
Yes, it absolutely should. 8 is the number you want to beat.
Let me make a quick auto roll for this. Got a 9.
All right. So you're dodging. You know, you zip off on your board. You're dodging debris. You know, you sort of duck around a couple of the guys up on the sidewalk. You pick the woman and her child up and zip off to the side. The armor-suited lady, you know, kind of turns and watches you go and calls out behind you, "Thanks!" And then she sort of turns and drops the car between her and the soldiers. So it's, you know, bumper on the ground, kind of propped up against her. And it's like she's using it like a giant shield, basically. Skater Boys, the soldiers, they obviously clock your movement, but they don't react to you. Next up is one of the soldier types. What was his coordination? Plus his skill. So he is shooting at Armored Lady. I'm going to give her a +2 probably for having the car. Oh yeah, she has no problem hiding behind the car. Then it's her turn. Where she's braced up, using it like a shield. She sort of drops there on its side where it'll actually stand up on its own. And then kind of sticks her head around one side and fires a energy blast out of her gauntlet at one of the guys. she's got key attribute is coordination. Alright, so she starts blasting. Alright, she managed to hit the guy. So he takes that much damage. Let's see, which one was it that shot her? Green, okay. Whip it, you're up.
All right, I'm going to run in and try to whip away the weapon out of one of the mercs' arms and just fling it as far in the opposite direction, far away as possible.
All right.
And how do we? Let's see. I'm trying to. Oh, this is a. Well, this isn't really wrestling. Grab with whip. That's my goal for it. Here we go. Not great.
Let's see. He resists with his against the opponent's strength level. All right. That was what I was thinking. His strength is a 4.
No.
So he got a 6.
No.
That does not beat your 7, however. So for a grab, so it's a moderate success. Grabs the object, but it suffers damage equal to the combined strength of you and your opponent.
No. Well, even better if I believe a crafting weapon.
Let's see. His strength is a 4. What's your strength?
Would we be using the whip strike or my actual strength? Probably my actual strength.
Probably
right?
actual strength for this, because this is more of the damage because of your tugging back and forth on it.
That would be 3.
All right. And it's a middle weapon. So it'd probably take some damage, but it's not. You don't break it in the one go.
Okay.
But you do get it out of his hand, and it does. You do flick it back behind you, so it goes flying off. Who knows where?
I don't know.
You hear Denny over the comms. We'll need to track that down later. And he says it like under his breath, like he's jotting a note down about it so he doesn't forget. Not like he's saying that to be critical.
Sure.
You know how one of the soldiers' attentions, though. Hey! Next up is the big guy. He kind of looks back over his shoulder at all of you. Over to where Skater Boy is, is down the street a little ways, with the family. And you see him just kind of go, and then he squares his shoulders, and he charges directly at the car that the armored woman is standing behind. And basically, he's grabbing the car and trying to pin her up against the wall with it. So this is wrestling. Because he's effectively just going for the pin. Let's see. It's his prowess versus his opponent's prowess or coordination. Ooh, minimum roll, so he got a 6. She's not in the air, so aerial combat's not going to help her. Though I don't know if it would anyway with the wrestling. Alright, so he grabs the card and shoves it up against the wall, but she kind of does a dive roll and gets out from behind it. Influencer, you're up.
I guess I'm not. We're not. Our locations aren't set so that we're any closer to one person than the other. I'm gonna see if I can influence the big guy.
Okay.
I think I would rather be using his strength to punch than getting punched by him.
Yeah, but if you start taking over his minions, you could get punched by him multiple times.
Right.
Think of the fun. Alright, so that is... Ooh, a 12. He's going to have a hard time beating that.
I figured he was going to be like Juggernaut and have some protection.
Nah, he ain't got no helmet on. He is, however, a determined combatant. Give yourself a determination point as he is tapping one of his qualities to give himself a +2 because he needs it. So 4, it gives him up to a 6, and then roll the dice. Oh, a minimum roll though, so he only got a 7. So you have him for the duration of the scene.
All right. What will I do? Influencer smash.
Alright, next up is another one of the soldiers. This is the one Whippet disarmed. I should probably mark him so I don't forget that he is disarmed. Whippet, he's charging you. As he comes at you, he draws his combat knife.
Uh-huh. So this is an evade.
Let's see.
No.
Let's see. So this would be... Prowess. Alright, prowess is 4, but he's got training with his weapons. Alright. A 10 is the number you need to beat.
Damn. Yeah. He's got to be good. Massive hit.
Alright. And what is... Taylor, what is the level of Skater Boy's spray on knee pads?
5.
Alright. Alright, so it takes all the damage. Spray on knee pads drops by 1.
And is now down to 4.
Yeah, you're quite certain if you only had your suit between you and that knife, that would have hurt bad.
Mm-hmm.
He seems a little disappointed that it didn't do any more damage than it did. You know, he looks at his blade where some of the nanites kind of glumped up on it and, kind of, dissolving back away. What is that? Ooh. Boogeyman.
I'm gonna take one of those little stun bombs I made and roll around my palm and smack it right into the face of the goon that just tried to stab Whippet.
All right. All right. So that would be prowess.
And Nothing for that, so just straight prowess roll.
Let's see. He does have martial
Ooh.
arts.
You sure he has martial arts? Positive.
What, the military guy? Yeah.
Curses.
Ooh, but he only rolled a 7 despite that. Alright, so you make contact, and you said it was a stun, like stun gas or something?
Yeah, just like a little, basically basically just like a little mini flashbang that I just slammed into his face.
Alright, so what is the power rank of that?
5.
Alright, give me a roll of that, plus a d6, versus this guy's, let's see, with the flash bombs, is it will or awareness? I think it's awareness he rolls. Because it's kind of all about realizing what's happening and closing your eyes, sort of thing. Oh, that's not going to go well for him. All right, he got a 5.
And boop. Oh,
So that's a massive success. So I believe this would be affecting sight and hearing, since you said it was a flash bomb. So with a massive success, I think for the duration of the scene, he's basically at -2 for his actions. Well, for any action that would require either of those senses.
Mm.
And basically automatically fails like awareness checks involving that sense. So he's not going to be spotting anything or hearing anybody do anything for a while. So yeah, he sort of half stumbles back. You know, he's still got his knife up, but he's in like a guard position now as he's trying to clear his eyes.
Boogeyman's just gonna shake his hand because that does tingle when he does that.
Next up is the last of the regular looking soldiers. He runs forward to the one that's just been blinded, and you hear him screaming. You know, presumably they've got comms. Oh, they're all close together. Abort! Abort mission! Big Bill is compromised. Abort! And as he runs by, he grabs his blinded buddy by the shoulders and then just sort of dives face first into the ground. And they both sink through the ground.
Oh.
So red is now gone. And he was the disarmed one that had gotten blinded. Blue has just disappeared into the ground.
Where'd they go?
And then I think we're back to the top of the order with Skater Boy.
Oh, I get to go, don't I?
Wait, where?
Oh. Or was
That was the first round.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
possessed the guy. So yeah, we're back at the top of the order. So yeah, Skater Boy.
Sorry, I was thinking we were on round 2 for some reason.
No, just starting it now.
All right. How many military guys are left? Just 2 of them ran off?
2 of them ran off, so there's one of the like regular human-sized military guys, or paramilitary, and then there's the big guy. You see all of your buddies except the influencer.
Yeah. I'll just ride up to the powered armor.
Okay.
I'll just go. So, like, what are you doing here?
Trying to stay alive. Looks like y'all are helping me with that. Thanks. Oh, I'm Tech Nicky.
Yeah, I'm like, Skater Boy.
Yeah, I've seen you in the news. I remember you from when I was a kid, too.
You ever been to one of the shacks?
Oh, yeah, the broken thingies are great.
Ha, love it. So, like, we're gonna need to get a, like, statement from you after this is, like, done.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Alright, thanks. And that'll be my turn.
Alright, next up is the last soldier guy. Let's see, he's the one that was up there shooting at Nikki, so he basically... Curtis, when the influencer possesses somebody, is there a visual, like, does he kind of ghost as he drifts towards him, or does he just vanish from sight and he's inside?
I imagine he would just vanish from sight.
Okay. So yeah, he's sitting there, calling out to you, Curtis, or at least it seems like that way. Bob, or excuse me, not Bob, Bill. Bill, snap out of it.
We have to surrender. Everybody surrender. The super visionaries are too powerful.
I think they're just called the Visionaries, at least according to our pre-mission prep. Oh crap! You're like mine. He takes a step back and just sort of drops straight down into the earth. And then his head pokes back out. We'll come back for you later, man. If you can hear me. If you can hear me from in there. And then he's gone.
Too good.
Alright, then it is Tech Nicky's turn. And she saw that exchange. She kind of looks over at Skater Boy. Is one of your guys like a, psychic or something? Hey, big guy, you still planning to kill me?
Kill?
He's looking at you, Curtis.
Yeah, that was my response. Kill?
Well, maybe capture, I'm not really sure. The last batch of these guys was trying to catch me, I think.
Oh. I think we just need to turn ourselves in. He's not given up yet on his ruse.
Yeah, you probably should do that, big guy. Hey, so who sent you after me?
I think we can sort that out after you've been detained.
Skater Boy, she looks over at you. Oh, he still won't detain me.
Yeah, like, I think he thinks you're just like another supervillain right now.
Well, if whoever his boss is should have filled him in on me better. Wait.
Oh, like, we don't know who you are either.
Oh, well, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I only helped rescue the Primus and defeat the, crap. What did I call those two guys?
I don't remember.
They were spawned from the Vasilef, but there was a name they called the two of them together.
Oh wait,
The August. The August. That was it.
That's right.
She's like, I only helped rescue the Primus rescue the Primus and defeat the August. No reason anybody should have heard of me.
Did you, like, look like that when you did it?
Well, no, this is a new suit of armor. It's the same color scheme, roughly.
Yeah, but we were like.
I mean, I didn't have
getting
a
a
clear
sight-
faceplate where you could see my face.
We were getting like sight from a distance, and we just saw like powered suit, and we're trying to find like images of the suit.
She's like, oh, okay, I see. And she pulls up her arm, little, it kind of slides like a little data pad, comm unit, gizmo there. It projects a little hologram up. Well, you see her in her original suit. And you hear Dennis. Oh, confirmation. Yeah, that original suit is definitely Technicky.
All right.
She is wanted for questioning. In regards to a few bank robberies. No charges pressed, just wanted for questioning. One of which involved the Primes. They were fighting paramilitary guys with like earth control powers. And super strength. Oh, and the tunneling. Okay, this is starting to sound familiar.
Round straws.
Are we clear to send in emergency crews now?
I
But
okay.
depends
Do you like promise not to open fire?
Nikki's like, what?
We're about to send in like emergency crews. You all
Oh
right?
yeah. No, yeah. I'm not gonna, dude. I don't start fights. I'm certainly not gonna shoot at ambulances. She gestures towards the big. I don't even think they're crazy enough to want to shoot at ambulances. I mean, though he was chucking cars around when there were civilians on the street. But, Dennis is going in here. Okay, yeah. Oh, she was fighting for Lady Feyre. But Spear seems to be pretty sure she was just mind controlled like everybody else. No big deal there. And see, that ended in Egypt, so that nobody could bring her in for questioning because there was no nobody had any jurisdiction there. He's like, yeah, police are gonna want to talk to her, but I still can't. Looking at this, I still can't tell if she's a villain or a hero or
So,
Would you be willing to stay for questioning?
Well, I
Put it in
understand that
words
the police want to question me about some stuff, and that's the problem is if I stay still for too long, more of them schmucks tend to show up. So like if they wanted to keep me like overnight for questioning or something, that could be dangerous for me.
So who keeps sending them after you if they're a persistent problem, like scorned lover, ex-employer, what's going on?
Ex-employer. I was designing armor technologies for him. Found out he was up to no good, or the company was up to no good. They sent somebody to my house, but I wasn't there. But I found out about it before I got home, so I went and stole the prototype armor, and I've been on the run since. It gestures to the new suit. I've upgraded a few times since then.
Who was your employer?
I don't remember if I ever gave her employer a name or not.
I thought maybe it was important.
I don't think it was Steel Applied Technologies.
No, I'm pretty sure it was not them. We're going to call the company Dunham and Locke right now. And if I go back and look at the old episode and see where I'd given them a different name, I'll correct it.
Also, like, how long do we have a lock on Big Bill?
Nikki's sitting there looking very interested in the answer to this too.
We probably better cuff him. Hold up my hands.
Do we have cuffs that size? I mean, you could probably like bite down on like 3 or 4 of these stun bombs. That'd probably take care of them. I don't know how much that'd hurt you though.
Influencer, are you going to eat stun bombs?
I really would rather not eat stun bombs. Surely there's some sort of standard equipment to take super strong people into custody.
And as you're talking, the ambulances or EMTs and police start pouring in. Some people are coming out of the buildings they'd hidden in, or wherever they had ducked down and hidden. EMTs start checking out people that with injuries. Nobody was shot, but as buildings took hits, chips of stone and brick flew off, glass got. But people. There are some people with some injuries, but nothing appears to be too life threatening. The police do show up. Well, not the police. A spear van does show up. One of their crime scene vans that often go out with police as they deal with superpowered criminals. It's packed with specialized equipment for trying to contain a variety of supers.
Mm-hmm.
Hoods that block eyesight for people that need line of sight, oversized cuffs for big guys, oversized and like made of super materials. So,
is there like a leader to this spear group that we can identify?
Not really. It just looks like it's 4 agents in a van. And they look like
All right.
plainclothes, baseline,
Like, is there a way you can get like an aerial delivery for this guy? His teammates have like earth tunneling, so like if you try to drive a car, they're just gonna ditch it.
We'll call somebody in.
All right, this is like way better than it used to be.
So yeah, you hear them radioing.
This kind of nudge, skater boys like, we're not supposed to give Spear the props. We're supposed to be better.
Well, we did all the flashy work. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah.
And the news crews are there, but if they're not there before the cops, they're there as the cops are getting there. Influencer, how long do you try to hang on to Bill?
I really would rather let him go as soon as possible. So as soon as it looks like they've got him handled.
Do you reappear next to the person you were possessing, or back where you started?
I would say it's gonna have to be next to the person
That's fair.
that I possessed.
So yeah, so you suddenly appear next to him. Cameras are going. Of course, the cameras just
Now
catch,
everyone knows what to do.
either you not there or you standing there. So
I'll just pat him on the shoulders like, have a nice trip, big boy.
You weasel.
Actually, like his name's the Influencer. Put like respect on it.
You are respect. You ran into combat.
I am, grabbed by lapel. It's like, that's right. I'm a respectable weasel.
Hands are cuffed behind his back. And quicker than you'd think somebody this size could, though, he stands up and tries to, just... Have you seen The Incredible Hulk? When Blonsky gets the super soldier serum? He has his little, he's jumping around the Hulk, and then he makes the mistake of standing still for a second, and the Hulk just chest kicks him. That's what this guy's trying to do to the Influencer. So I'll need a dodge or an evade out of the influencer.
And say goodbye to the influencer is, what was this guy's name, Bill?
It's what his buddy
Big
called
Bill.
him. Yeah, Big Bill.
As Big Bill breaks him.
I would like to use my probability control to give a +2 to influencer.
That sounds fair. And of course, the knee pads are still in effect. The spray on knee pads. So 8 is the number to beat. You rolled a
Influencer
7.
got a 7
Well, he
plus
did-
my 2 to make a 9.
Oh, that's right. Plus the 2. So you just barely do get out of the way. Basically, when he goes to kick, it's like some of the gravel he's standing on shifts a little bit, and it throws his balance off just enough that you get out of the way. The spear agent, some of the police run up and start, trying to manhandle him.
Well, I'm glad that these tunneling villains certainly won't ever release this guy, so that he can extract his revenge.
Everybody's clinging to him. Bill's spinning around, flinging people off of him. Hey, influencer! And he turns his back to you. We can see his hands that are cuffed behind, and he gives you a very rude hand gesture, and then sinks into the ground, handcuffs and all.
Oh man.
All of this is on video. Some of the news footage, at least for like the 5 and 6 o'clock news, they blur the hand, but the 10 and 11 o'clock news don't really bother to.
You can see it on TikTok, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah.
Do we recall seeing any kind of like device on all of them, including Big Bill, that could be accounting for that shifting ability?
Yeah, they can't all naturally have that.
Well, like, they can if it's like a government serum kind of thing. Or if it's like a family, if they're all like related.
Nikki's nodding her head. Yeah, the last batch of guys, none of those were the same. They were all oversized, like Big Bill there. And like I think their powers varied a little bit, but they all seem to have tunneling and earth control and super strength.
Does my character have enough history in superheroing to know?
To know what?
Well, cause that's the Myrmidon's power set, more or less.
Yeah. This is
And
true.
we as players know he was part of a government project, but
You could certainly make a roll for it.
They could be.
it would just be a
if they-
raw intellect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or unless you've got a specialty about history or something.
Do you have a quality
5.
that represents?
Yeah, nah.
Do you have a quality that they do? Does Skater Boy have a quality that represents his experience in the field?
Sort of, kind of, but I knew it was going to be an intellect roll, and I don't have a high intellect right now.
Yeah, he had a high intellect in the past.
And they could be related to platypus or land shark too.
The burrowers.
Oh, that's right. Landshark has an ability. They both do.
One's just a little better than the other, but yes.
But at least platypus doesn't rub it in. All right, so you rolled a 5. Difficulty ended up being a 10. Nah, man, you were in bad shape.
Yeah.
When the unknowns were running around, so you didn't keep up with it all that close. You've heard the name Myrmidon, but all you really recall is a super strong guy, but like looks like he's made of stone. So the press talks to you. Nikki gives a statement to the police. She comes by and thanks y'all again for helping her out.
I do got a question for you, Nikki. He leans a little bit. Boogeyman leans forward to her. Why were you here exactly?
Oh, I was just in the area and was visiting friends. It's not really important. I thought I had slipped in quietly enough that, they wouldn't know I was here, but apparently they'd been tracking me, so they jumped me.
He's going to take a look at the supervillain and alien technology salvage depot. So, I'm sure. I'm sorry about the trouble.
Oh, hey, y'all helped me out. I'm, got no complaints there. And you see her kind of look over your shoulder. Yeah, I should probably be going now. Great meeting y'all.
Yeah, about that. Say technically, I had some experience being kind of on the down low too. Before I hooked up with this outfit. Are you sure you don't want to come in? I know I can imagine you're trying to keep people safe by being on the move, but you know we could. I mean, I'm at least. I think we could be willing to help you out, keep you safe, and try to get to the bottom of what's going on here. I mean, being on the run is no way to live a life.
I appreciate that, and I'd certainly be willing to talk to you about it. Here's some contact info for me. And you see her do a little something on her, on that gauntlet control panel. And your comm suddenly beeps. You've got an little incoming message that's like this deep web anonymous kind of email service or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can drop me a line
Awesome.
there.
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I really gotta go.
You keep yourself safe.
And then she takes a couple steps back and then fires up the boot jets. Takes off just as the police were coming on. They're like, Turns out she's wanted for questioning and some stuff. Crap.
Well, I'm sure we'll run into her again.
Mm.
And she didn't seem all that bad. I mean, maybe I'm sure she had a good reason even if she is implicated in these robberies, which is ironic given that just a couple weeks ago we were busting other robbers. But
The police officer looks at you. How'd you know it was robbery she was wanting to be questioned for?
oh, yeah. Wait, was that actually revealed to our characters, or was it?
Yeah, Dennis said it over the comms. As soon as she identifies herself as Technique, he starts pulling up stuff on Technique.
Oh, right. You're very well informed here at Visionaries HQ.
Boogeyman just screaming on the inside right now. There's only so many things you need to tell the police at any given time.
Give me awareness checks, everybody.
Sure.
Oh yeah, plug on difficulty.
Woo!
9 is the number to beat.
I got a 3.
All right, Whippet's busy talking to the police and doesn't hear anything.
Did I roll? Let me try that again.
No, only Whippet and Influencer so far.
There we go. Oof.
Skater Boy, did you roll?
I got a 3.
Oh, you rolled before I did. Okay, yeah. All right, so nobody hears anything. That's fine. So the news crews have all kinds of questions for you. Oh, who are you fighting? And and of course they recorded the big guy getting away.
Unfortunately, Spear couldn't handle, escorting him to detention, but we were able to stop the conflict and break in.
The one Spear agent that's close enough to you to hear you when you say that, he gives you the look like that guy in the meme with his hands on his hips. Like, you dirty. But the news does run with that, Visionaries brought in, unknown villain, escaped Spear custody. Poor Spear guy's like, we hadn't got him in the van yet. If they just put him in the van before they stopped doing whatever it was they were doing to him to keep him calm. Skater Boy, the woman and who you saved her and her kid. She comes by and thanks you personally. Gives you a big hug. It makes for nice photographs too. She doesn't seem to be familiar with you particularly. I mean, she's seen you in the papers recently, but she doesn't talk about remembering you from childhood or anything.
Yeah, but there were a lot of skater boys. It's all right to not remember me.
That's fair. I think Marvel had 4 or 5 just by themselves. So eventually that starts to wind down. You can kind of disengage yourself from the press.
We get back on our vehicle.
Yeah, Dennis radios in. Are y'all headed back? Are y'all investigating something else? What's the deal?
Well, I thought was it Boogeyman or Whippet that was wanting to check out the shop?
Not me, but Whippet does want to do at least the aerial survey in case I mean, do we know? We don't know. We're not certain how long those berths can stay submerged. Also, they could just pop up close by. So maybe we should do an aerial patrol for a little bit.
Okay.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, Dennis is thinking that sounds fine. Your pilot comes, swoops in.
While they're flying, I do want to take a look inside the shop and see if, and I'm probably no good at this, but just to see if there's something that sticks out as an item that they might have both parties been interested in.
I'll give an assist if I can.
Okay. So Boogie and Whippet, Whippet for sure is getting on the Detroit Electric Flyer. Just do a little circle of the neighborhoods. What was that, Marigold?
Boogie's getting on there too.
Okay. So half the team is on the flyer. Influencer and Skater Boy are walking up to Danny Jumbuck's Records and Accumulators. As you approach, there is a man in a heated discussion with the police. Who are trying to put up police tape. He doesn't care about the crime scene. This is his business. He's going in there to see what, see what's been taken. And the police are kind of like, yes, sir, we will take you through there. We would love you to tell us, to show us, what might have been taken. We just need to make sure the building's clear first. And Danny is an older gentleman, kind of heavy set, starting to bald. Got a beard. Think of any of you remember Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard?
I was just thinking that.
A little heavier set. And short sleeves, more muscular. Looks like he does some physical labor, even though he's got a gut. So yeah, as Skater Boy and Influencer, walk up, the police give you a nod. This fellow, who you heard the police officers refer to as Mr. Jumbuck, so you're assuming this is Danny Jumbuck. he kind of turns toward you. Hey, you're those hero types that ran off them fellas that wrecked my shop.
Yeah. Sorry, we weren't here in time to keep them from wrecking your shop.
Oh, well, that's a shame, but firefighters can't show up until there's an actual fire, so I imagine it's the same thing for y'all. He reaches out, shakes your hand, The police just seem relieved that his attention is diverted to somebody else.
Yeah, man, like... we did have, like, some questions, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah. Fire away.
Was Tech Nikki, like, buying something from you when they jumped in?
Give me an awareness roll.
That's a minimum roll twice.
Ooh, you are not very aware.
Do I get a roll? Or...
Yes, you're there, yeah. 6 is the number to beat.
That might be the 6. And I do.
You see that you see something pass over his face, and there's just an ever so slight eye twitch as he sort of quickly glances over at the cops and back at y'all. No, she wasn't really here to buy anything. No. I mean, she didn't like break in or nothing. It was them yahoos came up through the floor and started really wrecking the place.
There's no way Skater Boy or I would be able to tell if anything was missing by looking in there.
Well, they let me in. I could tell them.
I'll see if we can convince the officer to let us accompany him into the building.
Well, I think they're like just trying to wrap up the taping and make sure there's not like a guy hidden in a toilet or anything.
And the officer that's standing there's not. Yes, that's all we're doing right now. We're making sure it's safe to let other folks in. As soon as that is finished, we'll let Mr. Jumbuck take us on a little tour and show us anything that got badly damaged or anything he thinks is missing or. And it's just a few minutes later that an officer comes out and or that you hear over the officer's radio. All right, well, all clear. He's like, okay. Now, Mr. Jumbuck, you may go in there. Another officer being there to take a statement of anything that you find missing.
While we're going in, I'm going to slip Mr. Jumbuck a business card.
He's like, oh, thank you. He sticks it in his
It's like just in case
work suit.
It's like I know we're getting ready to do a walkthrough here, but just in case after the fact, something comes to mind.
Oh, sure. Once the excitement dies down and I'm thinking more clearly, something could easily occur to me. So he takes you on a tour of the place. While he's doing that, my aerial heroes, give me awareness checks as y'all are, or an awareness check as y'all are doing kind of a circle through the neighborhood.
Sure.
All right, so Whippet got a 6. The difficulty was a 6. Boogie got a 9. So that is a major success for Boogeyman and a marginal for Whippet. So as y'all are flying over, Whippet, you notice a unmarked van pulling out from an alleyway. It's not that it's super suspicious. It's just you just ran into some other people that used an unmarked van, so unmarked vans are kind of on your mind.
Yeah, I believe there's an unmarked van in our very last issue.
And it's not the same unmarked banner. Let me be clear there.
Right.
Boogeyman, you see the van, but it's not the only vehicle moving around. It is the only one pulling out of an alleyway, and it's about like 2 blocks over from where this throwdown happened. But something glittery from that same alleyway catches your eye. Bust out a binocular or something. I'm sure they got some kind of equipment in the flyer, or maybe just even using the flyer's cameras and then zooming in. You see the oversized pair of handcuffs that they'd had on Big Bill.
Yep. That's them in the van. I'm not opposed once it gets clear to, like, I don't know, maybe diving down a little bit and maybe nudging it with the VTOL, seeing how much of a out of control spin hurts them.
The pilot's
should we
like,
maybe,
that could also throw us into an uncontrolled spin. Just saying.
That's true. That's true.
maybe we should just trail them, given that we're at half strength right now. And of course, we're relaying all this to our ground people, right?
Yeah. Dennis is on the comms with you.
Right. Should we? Maybe we should just trail them and we find out. Yeah, let's just. I say that until we get our full team back, that we just surveil and try to follow them.
Yeah, see where they're holed up.
All right, that's fair. So the pilot pulls y'all up higher. Basically drops back a little bit, lets them get, not so far away that you'll have any trouble keeping up with them, but they're driving more towards the city center. Traffic starts getting heavier. Dennis asked you over the comm, should we notify the police to put APB out? Or do we want to see where they're going to wait until they park somewhere?
Let's see where they're going first, because I don't want this to turn into a car chase right now.
Oh, yeah, especially through Detroit traffic, downtown traffic.
Mm-hmm. Car chases always go bad. Car chases and superpowers go very bad.
He's like, yeah, ooh. I bet somebody's done statistics on that. I'll leave a note for Carol. She likes looking that sort of stuff up.
Oh, I actually have that on a little file folder. I can send it over to her.
Oh, neat. So you follow them for, I'll say, a half hour. Ooh, wait, big city traffic. Might be longer than that. I know Detroit's a bit depopulated these days, but I bet you downtown is still full of cars up during the day.
I think of any city that would be full of cars, it would have to be Detroit.
Traditionally, yes.
I think they all probably have to own their own car, and they don't carpool just as a matter of freaking pride.
I was reading that Detroit was kind of a pioneer in urban sprawl precisely because of that, since they were the automobile town.
But anyway, you followed it for, I said a half hour, but probably more like an hour given traffic. And they get to kind of the, opposite side of the city. In a, fairly middle-class neighborhood. Before they pull up in front of a house and into a garage.
Sorry, I broke the team up. but I wanted to know what was
I
going on.
mean, you're fine.
Yeah,
Like, we know
that's
where
why we
they're
have a
at.
team. So-
Always split the party. Isn't that like a rule or something?
We know where they're at. We can move a lot faster now that we're not tailing them, so we can pick y'all up.
All right. So while y'all are doing that, back over to at the same time. Meanwhile, at Jumbuck's Wreckers and Accumulators, Danny Jumbuck is carrying you through the facility. Neither one of y'all are really the tech guys at the moment. I mean, Scatterboy used to be. But he's got a fairly impressive setup here. The particular building that the fight broke out in, it's got several fabricating machines, things that either one of you would recognize as kind of the equivalent of 3D printers, but on a much larger scale.
Wow.
And like not using liquid resins or anything, but like, it's 3D printing molten metal, sort of, He's like, yeah, this is my
Where
baby.
did you get this stuff?
And he starts pointing, well, we recovered some of this. This machine was recovered from such and such, and I bought this at an auction when, Still Applied Technologies was shutting down one of their facilities, after that whole mind control hubbubaloo several years back. Now the big fabricators, built them myself. Lots of reverse engineered tech, involved. I've managed to buy a couple of crashed UFOs and debris and stuff like that. Even got some stuff from those Starforge guys, the Starforgers, the guys that were buying blood from us. He glanced around to make sure none of the police were close by. I don't tell anybody, but I may have sold them some of my blood to get some of it, without going through the UN or whatever.
Well, this is some pretty
Hey,
serious
like,
tech.
you own it. You can, like, do what you want.
Exactly, that is exactly my point. And I wasn't
I'm a
getting
big
like
believer
weaponry
in
or nothing
bodily
crazy.
autonomy.
Exactly. It's not like I was buying weapons from them or something. I can understand needing to be a little restrictive on that. But if I can get these things working like I want them, we'll revolutionize production. And he goes and he checks, and there's a few things damaged because you had a super brawl in here. But none of his equipment is missing.
With all this tech, you might want to increase your security.
Well, to be honest, I'd kind of been using secrecy as my security. Most folks around here just think this is a big recycling place, essentially. And we do a lot of that. That is one of the things I'm working on with, my fabricators is being able to just feed either raw materials into them or even materials that have to be broken down. I may revolutionize recycling while I'm at this. And as you're walking by one of the big fabricators, he kind of reaches over and takes a piece off. Oh, well, that's a misprint. We need to chunk that back into the recycle pile.
I'm thinking this guy could be a big asset for the company.
Anyway, he grabs the thing off and he's sort of between you and whatever the thing is. As he turns over and tosses it, tries to toss it into a chute real quick.
He's starting to remind me a little bit of the Artificer from Mystery Men.
Can I use
whatever they called him?
Can I use my trigger of probability control to give that throw bad luck to have it bounce towards us to pick it up?
Sure, I won't even make you roll for that. Since this isn't really a combat, So he tosses it, and it hits right at the edge. It sort of spins off, kind of back towards y'all a little bit, but to one side. So yeah, it lands clearly visible on the floor.
And I'll pick it up and look at it real quick. And I'll use the quality I was like so smart once to see if I can figure out what it is or what it was trying to be.
Okay. That can be an intelligence roll or an awareness roll, whichever one you'd rather make.
I'll go with an intellect, and then the quality will give it a +2.
That's fair.
That's a 9 total. All right.
Also got a 9. So the difficulty is a 9. You're not sure what it's a part of, but it's got a color scheme like Nikki's armor. You know, it might have been a lower part of a leg or maybe an upper part of an arm. And he's right. It clearly missed. You know, this is one of the machines. He grabbed off one of the machines that had taken a little bit of damage, so it clearly mangled the thing before it stopped. Fabricating it.
Holding it in my hand, I'll look at it, look at him, look at it, look at him. I'll just walk over and put it in a chute. Yeah, like, I hate it when things misprint like that.
He's like, yeah, it's real pain. He sort of licks his lip nervously. He glances. And then the police are like looking around, poking at stuff, but they're not following you around. They're just kind of waiting for him to give it his walkthrough and tell him.
I'll lean and slightly. Is that like the only misprint?
I think so. That was going to be a spare part.
All right. Because, everyone's got to have that, support team.
But I don't know about a support team, but contact for sure. But, I'll probably talk to y'all. I'll probably remember some stuff later and give y'all a call.
Sounds good.
I gotcha. Just make sure to be, as honest as you can with, the cops.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. As honest as you can.
So he finishes the walk through. Yeah, it is a real nice setup he's got. And he tells the police, yeah, it doesn't look like they stole anything. Yeah, there's some damage to this machine. Oh, it's a custom one I built. He gives them a rough estimate of how much damage. What it'll cost to repair. He'll have to get somebody out and look at the hole in the wall of the building to get an estimate for that. But in the statement you hear him giving, and Nikki didn't break in. Nikki was not not up to anything illegal there. She was there. She was talking to him. And then the paramilitary guys literally just came up out of the ground and attacked her. When asked if they attacked him, no, one of them pointed a gun at me and told me to, hit the road or, take cover somewhere. But, they didn't assault him. They didn't really make any specific threats. I mean, he goes, they pointed the gun at me. I felt a little threatened, But, and no, he's like, no, I didn't know, no, I don't know who Tech Nikki is. I assume she's named Nikki, but other than that, but he also didn't recognize any of the military guys or paramilitary guys. So by the time y'all done with that, the flyer's back. Dennis comes over the comms and tells you, flyer's outside whenever y'all are ready to, whenever y'all are done in that shop.
Okay. We'll thank him for his time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
and
thanks for taking those guys out.
And if the secrecy thing doesn't work out, you could always kind of get on contract with Futuro.
Yeah, I think there's always a place for you at Futuro.
Thanks. He'll keep that in mind. He'd like to stay independent if he could, but he'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I get that.
You hear Offerman over the comm, like not like he's on the comm, like he's standing over Dennis's shoulder. No, no, don't tell them. You understand that? Encourage them to join the Futural family.
I said, our good friend Boogeyman, he's pretty independent too, but he's made himself quite comfortable.
But all right, we've taken like enough of your time. We'll go ahead and head on out.
Yeah.
Just if you remember anything, and I like give my number to him.
Oh yeah, sure thing. He pulls out Influencer's car and writes your number on there on the back of it.
That is like what my business card should be.
Just the back of the Influencer's business card.
The back of someone else's card.
It's like recycling.
Except you're like improving it. So I'm ready to go to. I'm ready to get in the van.
All right, so y'all go load up in the flyer.
So how do we want to handle this?
Let's see. I guess one thing we need to do is, can we figure out a way to neutralize their ground shifting ability?
Yeah, we don't want them.
If we could like temporarily transmute the ground into like a non-dirt or like a metal.
I'll be like, that spear agent called me a weasel, and these guys are literally tunneling through the ground to get away.
Well, like, first off, it was like Big Bill that called you a weasel. Not the spear guys. And second, like, we're probably gonna like need spear, and they are gonna be like not happy to hear us.
You mentioned transmuting. Maybe we should put in a call to the primes.
Do any of us have their number?
Dennis comes
I'm
on the
sure
line.
some of them.
Futuro doesn't.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, how about can Boogeyman or Skater Boy maybe whip up something?
I can like give it my best shot.
Yeah, like with what I have on me and the supplies we have in here, I might be able to make something that can screw with superpowers a little bit. Maybe.
I'll see if I've got like something in my pockets to like alter materials and see if I can't combine it with something to like stretch it out.
Here's some
And
Something.
I will start rummaging in an almost Ouroboros fashion into my shorts. Into my shorts.
Do you need a moment alone?
And I will attempt to craft a transmutation gadget.
All right, what rank are you trying to cast it at, or generate it at?
We need the floor of like how big was like the building? So just like a house?
The one they went to, yeah, it's just a house.
Okay.
One story.
Garage house. Okay.
One
is that
story.
rank 2 or rank 3?
Let me grab the book and we will check the benchmarks.
Is it bigger than a fast helicopter?
Because I think either 2 or 3 is a city block, which would be the only distance I would need.
Oh, damn it.
Problem? Let's see, benchmarks. Distances, level 1 is a couple of yards, level 2 is across the street, level 3 is a city block.
So do you want it to be 2 or 3 to be able to cover a house?
2 would be enough to cover a house, I would say.
I will try to make it at rank 2.
All right. So the difficulty will be 2 plus a roll.
And I will be tapping my quality. I was like so smart once.
Okay. So 7 is the number to beat.
I got an 8. So
I
Out
love
of-
the role name. Crafting is like my passion.
out of the jorts, you'll see I'm pulling out this like extremely long object with a name, like with a rolling printer device had printed across it and stuck to it, where it's just the Alternator 6000. And I'll just take out a core piece out of it, bring up something that's the Sprayinator 16, slap it together, and pull out like a cordless welding device of some sort and just kind of slap them together, look at it. Yeah, like, this should like take out a house.
Oh, we lost somebody.
And I'll just shove this incredibly long rod back into my jorts. So, like, as long as we can, like, get the jump on them, the ground underneath them could be, like, a metal or, like, glass.
Maybe metal. Glass would be too easy to shatter.
Yeah, we'll just make, like... We'll just go with, like, steel and hope they can't go through metal.
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't actually know that, do we?
Not a bit.
Mm.
But, like, if they
we,
can go...
we only know how Icon's rules work. That does not... Our characters wouldn't necessarily know that.
And it can vary from
Sure.
person to person depending on how it's statted up. Oh, I think we lost a mic.
Yeah. And the last thing he said was something like, oh shit, or...
Wait, who do we lose?
Well, you're here on voice, but your no?
We lost Marigold.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Marigold's who vanished.
Yeah, Marigold.
All I saw was the cameras mess up.
Yeah. Marigold said, oh shit, and then eventually disappeared from the chat.
Yep. Yeah, the old shit I just assumed was, baby was getting into something. Well,
Yeah.
Child now, not really a baby, but
She'll be back, I'm assuming.
Oh, yes, in all likelihood. But the way my characters cameras jumbled around on the screen, I could see me and I could see Curtis. So I just assumed it was Mike that had disappeared. Because, back in the days when we were using Zoom instead of Discord, that's what it would have been. But,
Yep. Yeah, typically.
but okay.
Do we have a plan B? Do we have a plan B in case they can drift through metal? I wonder.
We don't need no plan B.
I know that's easy for me to ask because I'm not actually doing the heavy lifting here.
So your pilot's like, are we headed back to the house or? Yeah, basically he's lifted off in the air and he's just like, I need to know where to go.
And unless Futuro wants to intercede and say, no, don't, I think we should check it out.
Well, here's a question. How heavily populated was the area we were in where we found the garage?
Yeah, because they're like, if they're in like a suburban home, we're gonna have to like get permissions.
It's a suburban neighborhood. It didn't look like it was necessarily with the fullest neighborhood. Well, give me an awareness roll. Let's see what you noticed, other than you were paying attention to the van. What else you noticed about the neighborhood?
Okay. I'm wondering if it was like kind of a patchwork thing where there's a bunch of empty lots interspersed with the actual houses. inhabited houses. Anyway, I'm not particularly aware. So, I'm aware enough.
Oh,
Maybe.
Jason,
Uh-huh.
if you would like to look at the stream.
Oh, what's going on?
I know our cameras are messed up as far as what.
Yeah, it's the cameras being
Oh, yeah,
messed
yeah,
up. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'm in Whippet's box, and Curtis is cut between my box and his own.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here. I don't think there's anything I can do about it because it's just number of windows we're dealing with.
Well, enjoy the show, everyone.
Yes, where were we? Oh, right. Difficulty was a 5, Whippet rolled a 6. Okay. So what you recall about the neighborhood, there were lots of houses with for sale signs in front of them. There were a few vacant lots, like a house had been torn down, and they hadn't rebuilt anything yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think requesting permission from I'd worry about giving that's just more opportunity for the bad guys to get word or to overhear something, or maybe even someone snitching on us. But we should just I don't know, try to come up with a way to kind of like, is there a way we can like reduce the field of battle or contain the field of battle so that this thing doesn't spill out? Are the immediate neighbors or the immediate houses that inhabited, do those seem to be vacant? Do I remember that much?
If you were looking at the house from the street, then on the left side is one of those empty lots I described.
Mhm.
And on the right side, there was a sign in the yard, either a for sale sign or a for rent sign or something.
Any cars in the driveway?
Not on the same side of the street. Now the house across the street from it, there was a guy out mowing his yard when y'all flew by.
Okay. Well, hopefully that's far enough.
Oh, and we've got a marigold back.
He's back.
He's sorry about that. Technical issues.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
We're trying to figure out our approach,
Yes.
given that it's a residential area.
Not super densely populated. The only house, the house directly across the road, from where these guys are holding up, that's got the person in it. But then there's an empty lot on one side of the house and a for sale or for rent house on the other side.
And as far as we can tell, the only real ranged weaponry they have is some energy blasters, and not, telekinesis or death ray eyes. So
You didn't see them use anything like that, no.
yeah.
And also, big build could technically count because it can throw stuff across like city blocks.
Okay.
So the pilot is flying you not at full speed, slowly, since y'all are still making a plan. But he's flying you back over to the right side, to the correct side of town. Dennis is on the radio. Guys, as soon as you want me to alert the police, let me know. I'd probably let them know before right before you engage, at the very least, just so they can have people moving in the right direction.
So were
Sure.
we in agreement that we were going to give Fuchiro a heads up?
Well, you're in constant communication with Dennis, so
Yeah.
the company knows what's going on, or at least Dennis and probably Offerman, since he seems to be in the command center as well. So they're in the loop.
Were we wanting to get authorization before we did anything, or were we just going to go in as company vigilante?
Authorization from who?
Fuchiro.
Authorization from Future. No, I think I believe I assume we're just operating on a do what you, my understanding is we operate on a do what you want charter. Is that right?
More or
Basically, they're
less, if
funding
if Offerman heard you really planning something crazy, he'd speak up. But you've literally been
Maybe we
discussing
should
how to
make-
minimize the chances of this getting out any further, and
Okay.
How
Yeah, I
did
think,
that? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think in general we should just operate with no news is good news sort of situation. As long as they're always listening in what we're planning. If we don't hear anything, we can just assume everything's a go.
all right. What were you about to ask, Miracle?
I got cut off right as Skater Boy was working on a transmutation device. How did that turn out?
He pulled out a lot of weird objects and pulled pieces off of them and welded them together out of a mobile welding machine that he also pulled out of his pockets. But he seems to have the device working. He seems to be pretty happy. He's like, hey, basically he could turn the ground into glass or metal or whatever you need.
Okay.
Over an area about the size of that house lot.
I could probably make up some knockout gas so we could just chunk down a chimney or through a window to just fill the house, and fingers crossed it knocks out everybody in there.
It's true. We won't even know. We can't even just. It may not necessarily really even be armored at the time.
I like the idea of dropping one down the chimney.
Like,
It's a modern house. We didn't have a chimney. Of course, it's also in Detroit. Where having a backup heating source is probably not a bad idea that far north.
Who doesn't love having a fireplace, though? I mean,
Whoever remodeled my house before I bought it. Because I've got a chimney, but I don't have a fireplace.
where does the chimney go?
Well, I know where in the house the fireplace must have used to be because, that's where the chimney is on the outside. And every now and then I can hear squirrels setting up in the chimney.
Oh,
well, that's always the sound you want to hear.
Okay, so does Boogeyman have the gas? Is that an always ready gadget? Is that something you're going to have to cobble together?
It's something I'd have to knock together.
Okay. So what is the strength of the knockout?
It would gonna set it to rank. Actually, I'm gonna burn a determination point to bump it up one rank.
Okay.
So that'd be push it up to rank 6, and this is the roll to make it.
Ooh, came up
Can
one shy.
Can I use my last trigger of probability control to help?
And that gives him a plus. That give Boogeyman a +2 on the roll.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. That's how your power works.
That's my last trigger of probability control. I'm out of determination, out of probability.
So that 9 becomes an 11, which beats the 10, and you have your gas. Marigold.
Yeah,
oh, don't forget.
and it just accidentally kill everyone on the computer.
I look at you working, I'm like, I think that needs a little more weld, and I'll just real quick sink it in.
It's like you were just seeing a little bit of the gas start to leak out, and then psst, you just kind of tap welded it to seal it off.
Yeah.
And for the record,
Boogeyman's gonna look him directly in the eye and say, "Why did I feel the grim specter of death pass over me just now?"
Oh, because that gas might be flammable.
Oh, sorry.
Who knows? I kind of just played the risk there.
Well,
Because falling unconscious inside an airplane is real bad.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody who's going to gadget up has gadgeted up. Your pilot lets you know we are approaching the house.
I'll
can
re-up
you
our
refresh
knee
our
pads
D-pads?
back to 5.
Thank you.
Yeah. You said that, you do that in the thing. The pilot's close enough now that even he gets covered in. He's like, oh, neat. I hope I don't need this. If I need
You
this,
do
things are going
too.
badly. He's like, do you want me to drop you off on the property, or do you want me to drop you off, a block away and y'all creep in?
I vote block away and we creep in.
Like, in my experience with like military guys, they've got like a watch setup.
Yeah.
So like, would it be better to like storm them and get like a guaranteed surprise on like 2 of them, or like try to sneak up and it be all or nothing?
Yeah, I think for the just drop in approach, rather than sneaking up from a block, that the first thing we could do is get influencer inside of the big bill as soon as like first thing possible.
Because like, if they can catch us while we're sneaking up, also like my whole make the floor metal thing is going to be like pointless because they'll have already left.
Oh right, maybe that's the first thing we should do.
Probably is.
Just activate it.
Because the first sign of trouble, they're gonna run away like little weasels.
Wow, that is really sticking to you, isn't it?
So I can like jump out from like up high, land, and fire the gun if that's what we like need me to do.
Sure. Boogeyman can follow right behind. You fire your gun. T tosses the gas grenade through the window. And any luck, we don't have to fight anybody.
All right. But your pilot's like, so that's the battle plan. I'll fly you over. We all be jumping out, or wait a second. I think we've got repelling. Yeah. And he shows you where the things are where y'all can repel out of the, kind of like people used to repel out of helicopters, or probably still do.
Mm-hmm.
You have a similar setup in the flyer.
I am sure the neighbors will just be like,
Yeah. You guys can be like safe like that. I'm just gonna like jump out.
If you can take it, sure.
I can like once.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Look,
maybe
you
you
do
can
the
whip
superhero
up a
landing.
spray on parachute. Yeah, pose first.
Wait, what?
Pose first. If you've seen the Black Widow movie,
Oh,
this is a reference. I thought.
that is one that I missed out on.
It's not a terrible movie. They should have done it before Endgame, though.
Yeah.
It should have been before Endgame. Captain Marvel should have been after Endgame. Used her to kick off the new stuff. Anyway.
All right, so in an attempt to gain an advantage in speed, I can kick it off by jumping out of the plane.
All right, so you jump out of the plane.
Yep, I will use my rank 1 leaping.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. Because I mean, he's dropped down about roof level. He'd just be a little bit above the roof of the house as far as height wise. All right, what are you rolling?
To see if my leaping burns out.
And it burns out on a 1.
Oh boy.
I need to double check.
Because it's either a 1 or a 2, and you roll a 2. So yeah, we probably need to.
On a 1 or a 2. So I leap out. I can feel my legs be like, can't do that again.
Yep.
That's like
Oh,
sped.
okay.
And then I'll aim down and fire the gun to alter the area in front.
All right. And let's see, which book was transmutation in? I just need to check and see if there has to be a transformation object. That's if you transform. Transmutation. Here we go. You can affect objects as a whole with a mass beyond the power level. You may need to make a coordination test to touch a moving held object. Okay, doesn't seem to be much of a role for it. Unless you were trying to hit somebody, touch something moving or where somebody was holding something, But you're literally landing, you're literally shooting the ground. Alright, and what are you transmuting it into?
We'll just make it steel for now.
Okay. So from the point of where you fired the device, that area instantly becomes steel. It's little steel blades of grass. The lawn's been recently cut, so it's it's low to the ground. And you see that just sort of spread. The pavement on the driveway becomes steel. The grass becomes steel. Any little clear patches of dirt become steel. And you see that sort of race up under the house and presumably into the backyard. It covers far enough that the street in front of the house becomes steel. Just a little bit of the neighbor's yard becomes steel.
We don't want to walk on the grass.
The neighbor is currently had finished mowing the yard and is currently like watering the flower beds as he's watching this. With a glance in his direction, Skater Boy, you see him reach down and start turning the water faucet off.
Well, it's time for the rest of the team to get to their work.
Right.
Skater Boy has aced his part of the test.
Boogeyman just gonna rappel down and by one of the windows and just slam the fucking thing through.
All right, hang on, let me put the red and blue trooper guys back on there because everybody's conscious now. So add a turn. And just for simplicity's sake, we'll just use the initiatives we rolled before. Except where I deleted those two guys, I've got to re-roll theirs. Huh, that guy got the same roll he got last time. Alright, so Skater Boy went first. Turned the ground to steel. Next up is one of the troops who has no idea anything's going on yet, so he does not get a turn. This is kind of a surprise round. I can remove Technique though. She is not in this part. Whippet, you're the next one out of the flyer.
Okay, so I guess I will. Maybe you could put me on the roof, and I can see if I can just break in through one of the. Oh no, yes, you said it was a first story. It was a one.
Yeah, just a one-story building.
Right?
It's got the little peaked roof or whatever.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just land and then maybe use my whip to shatter a window and then rush in.
Well, remember, Boogeyman was going to chunk the knockout gas in first.
Oh, that's right.
So you can still shatter a window and give him the.
Yeah, I could hold my action so that I can do it right before.
Okay,
Boogeyman
that works. That works.
tosses in the gas. Yeah.
So in that case, since you're not busting the window, just holding, the next soldier also isn't aware anything's going on yet. Big Bill's unaware anything's going on. Influencer.
I will also hold my action for the knockout gas.
Okay. I'm going to assume that you go ahead and, land, get out of the
Right,
flyer.
right, right.
And then it's the boogeyman.
Gonna rappel down. Now, is this like a full harness or just like a foot loop and a handle on a line?
There is like a harness that you can attach to it, but the lines also have the whole foot loop and handle part. So,
All right, yeah,
however you want to do it.
He's gonna risk it with just a foot loop and the handle and go on down by the closest window.
Okay.
Just off to the side of it.
All right. So boogeyman
And-
lands, whips out with the whip, shatters the window. So you now have a busted open window. Boogie.
I pitch it hard and fast. Let me rephrase that. I throw it through the broken window.
Yeah, we haven't been too concerned about phrasing. Earlier, when somebody was talking about the influencer getting in bill as fast as it could, so I resisted saying anything at the time, but all right, just give me a coordination roll.
Alrighty.
This is a standing still
Don't bounce it off.
object, so
Don't bounce it off the house and.
off the
That's
house
effective.
into Whippet's face.
Exactly.
Would athletics factor into throwing the grenade?
In this case, I'll say it will because you're not really attacking. You're literally trying to throw, a beanbag-sized grenade, through a hole, kind of like those little carnival games.
All right.
That you could never win.
Yeah, I would say a 13 soundly beats an 8. And just to prove you wrong, Curtis, here's a dragon my dad win for me as a little kid.
Oh, sweet.
Now, it was a company picnic, so
Oh.
it wasn't quite as scammy as a carnival. Yeah, I've used that for D&D and all kinds of stuff over the years.
It looks awesome.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a Hydra at least once or twice. But it was literally the little beanbag toss. But anyway. So yeah, it goes through there. Give me a roll for the level of the knockout gas.
All right.
Oh, that's going to be rather hard to beat. All right, what is their strength? All right, this is for the 3 regular soldiers. Well, they're not regular, but you know what I mean. Regular size guys.
Oh, that ain't great.
Oh, the 13 was to get it through the door. Okay, or through the window.
Yeah.
Okay. The effect of the gas is a 9. All right. That's not nearly as bad for him.
I'm sorry, Marigold. I'm all out of things to support you with.
It's fine.
All right, so one of them tied you. So the one that rolled a 9, where was it? I say knockout gas would be the stun power, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Put it in sync. And come get a high top.
All right, so the tie is a marginal success, which means no effect. The 8 is a moderate, excuse me. Means the target can take no actions for a page, so he's stunned for a round, essentially. And then the 6 is a major success. Means the target can take no actions for level duration. And we said the level of that one was a 6.
Please let that one be Bill.
No, I was rolling for the regular size guys.
Oh.
Bill's going to be harder to take.
Alright, so the blue guy got the marginal. He's fine. Red. I'm going to put the little clock on him. He's stunned for a round. And then green. He is stunned for 6 rounds. You know what? I'm just going to mark that there. And mark him with a 1. All right. And now we need to roll for Big Bill.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
One.
And he also got a 9. Marginal success, no effect.
All right.
That's actually a fairly low roll for him. After Boogie is the fella that's, stunned for the 1 round, so we'll go ahead and delete his number. But that's his round. Top of the order is Skater Boy.
Is the gas like an immediate dissipation, or is that house still full of gas?
Well, the power was not described as having any duration to it, the gadget. So I would assume it's just a real quick. Psss.
Would it be? Could we just assume that we would have brought gas masks with us if we were planning on using knockout gas?
That wouldn't be unreasonable. It's something that you would probably have stocked in the flyer.
Excellent, thank you.
But also the gas would go off real quick, and
All right, well, I'll pop the door open, I guess, and see what I can see inside.
All right, you bust in. One guy is like slumped against the wall, shaking his head. Like it's clearly affected him, but he's starting to shake it off. One guy has he's out for 6 rounds. So yeah, it's like he fell back against the wall and just sort of slumped into a. It's like he had stood up, when the window cracked. It's like he stood up, then the gas hit, and he sort of fell back into the couch he'd been sitting on. And he looks kind of out of it. You don't know if he's completely unconscious, but he just sort of. One of the soldiers is diving for his gun. And Big Bill is stepping into the room from, somewhere else in the house.
I guess I'll just try to crack the guy closest with my skateboard.
All right. Quick even or odd roll. Even, the closest guy is slumped against the wall, but shaking it off. And odd will be the guy going for his gun. Okay, so you're cracking the closest guy. So he got a 6.
I got a 6 on the melee.
All right, this guy still gets to make his. Let's see, he was going to miss for a round. I'm just going to give him just a straight die roll, rather than him really getting to put anything else on it. Well, 2 6s in a row. Huh. So, marginal success. So you do half damage to him. What's your strength? Or what's your damage with the skateboard?
3.
I'll be nice and round that up to a 2 then. And that was on to the red guy. Oh, and the red guy is the one that took some damage in the previous fight. He is not currently wearing what little bit of armor he had. So he takes that full 2, which gets him up to 7. He is out. He was pretty roughed up to begin with. Now he just took a skateboard across the face. Next up is the guy who was diving for his gun. And he comes up blasting. Skater boy, you are the only target currently.
Great. It's like what I expected. I need to be like the tank.
Coordination is 3, but he's got the gun, so with 4.
Luckily.
10 is the
Luckily.
number to beat on a dodge.
Defense against guns is the one thing I've got a shot at. That is my 5th minimum roll.
Oh, man.
It's my 3rd maximum roll on a dice in a row.
Oh, it's so gross. All right, what's the damage?
Oh, these do 5 points of damage.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Hey, our spread knee pads are down to 4.
All right, Whippet, you're up.
Okay. So, I'm just going to, let's see, Big Bill just got in. I'll leave him to Influencer. And I'll just, I'm just going to do just straight up whip strike one of the remaining mercs.
All right. Well, one guy's on the couch, clearly out of it. The other guy's got a gun. I'll assume you go for the gun.
Yeah. That's right. Hopefully I don't kill this person.
All right, so that is an 8. The company's going to have to invest in blunt-ended whips for Whippet.
I've been thinking about that.
Can we get a whip with a sap on the end of it? Just a lead weight wrapped in leather.
I was thinking of using an advancement to add the other strike power, so I can have the option.
All right, so this is prowess.
Oh, coordination actually. I think I used.
Well, you've got a
'cause
trait that lets you use it, or a knack that lets you use coordination. It's still even though you got kind of reach on it, it's still considered hand to hand for the guy defending.
Okay. Oh, right.
Okay, so you rolled an 8. He rolled a 10. He gets out of the way.
Ooh. Okay. But I am I should be in the house now too.
Yes. You don't follow
where I
Skater
just
Boy
couldn't
through the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and it is the guy who's out for 6 rounds' his turn to go. So we drop that counter to 5. Oh, he also got hurt in the last 5, didn't he? Then it is Big Bill's turn. He looks suspiciously at you two. With one hand, he reaches back behind him, grabs the kitchen table. Because he was like in the kitchen and stepping into the living room when he heard the crash. So he's grabbing the kitchen table, yanks the curtain back, and looks out into the yard. Influencer, a kitchen table goes flying through the window towards you. All right.
I don't know why he doesn't like me.
You should take it with pride. He recognizes you as his biggest threat.
Oh, did not roll so well.
He didn't roll great, but he beat
But
a
he
4.
rolled well enough to hit.
So you catch a kitchen table in the chest.
How much should I take?
His strength is a 7. I'll say the table wouldn't give him a bonus since he threw it, as opposed to if he just smacked you with it.
Okay.
So 7 points of damage. The knee
Would
pads
those
take
4?
Yeah, the knee pads
Do
take
what?
4. So
Okay.
you only take 3, minus any armor if the influencer has any armor himself. Which I don't think he does. But
No, I didn't spend points on that.
so 3 points of damage. That's not terrible.
No.
And our knee pads are down to 3.
And it's the influencer's turn.
Okay, and I will say, "Hi, Bill."
I imagine it's more like, oh, hi, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if I can Jericho him again.
What? Oh, no.
Oh crap! I think I probably got him.
With a 16, yeah, there's a pretty good chance. That is his max roll. Oh, let's see. And Bill's willpower is a 4. So 10's the best he can do without tapping something, and that would only get him up to a 12. You beat him by 8. You have him for the duration of the scene.
And scene.
Yeah, because you really only got the guy on the out of it guy on the couch now, don't you? No, gun guy's still.
I promise, there is one with a gun.
Yeah. Gun guy is still up. I forgot about him. Boogeyman, your turn.
I'm gonna pop in there and see if anybody's left standing and take a swing at him.
There's one guy with a gun and one guy on a couch.
Yes, it's the guy with the gun.
Oh, you come at him with the baseball bat.
Yep.
For some reason, the guy with the gun just sounds more dangerous than the guy on the couch.
I know, it's weird.
I'm gonna tap a tough SOB to give me a +2 to hit. So I'll be boop boop boop.
You got a 12. He only got a 10. How much damage did you do?
That'll do 5 damage.
All right. And he'd already taken some of the last fight, so that is definitely enough to knock him out.
Do I see Bill?
He is standing there.
Influencer, please say that's you.
That's you?
Thank Christ.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, Influencer. When you jump into Bill, you're looking at him, he's looking at you. When you jump at him, then you're looking across the street. You see the neighbor running into his house.
Hey, I don't blame him.
He did not put the garden hose up, though he did turn the water off.
Turn the water off.
He just runs in and slams the door. You can safely assume that if Dennis hasn't called the police, the neighbor is probably calling the police at this point.
All right, we should probably ransack this place for evidence.
We need to.
I'll hit Dennis up. I think we need to get Spear here immediately for their containment.
Understood.
Agree.
Calling them now.
And we really need to get some power dampening cuffs.
I know you don't know the science on that, but it's a real specific thing of it's almost a 1-to-1 ratio of trying to nullify a power. So people like Spear or Futuro might have the money to do it, but you can't without knowing who they are, nullify them unless you're magic.
You get a little bit wrong.
It's why there's only
personalized target.
Yeah, it's why there's only a couple of super prisons that really work. It's because it's wild expensive.
All right, so who starts casing the joint? Or not casing the joint, searching the joint.
I think we all will.
I guess we all do.
Or I
Alright.
will. We really need to watch.
I'll be super speed, like checking their bodies, taking weapons off of them, and setting them to the side and stuff,
Okay.
and making sure they're like tied up / cuffed. What we've got.
Y'all
all
would
the
probably have
restraints
zip
we can-
ties.
Yeah, all
That
the
should work
restraints
on-
we can do for them.
Zip tie. High quality zip tie type cuffs should work on normal, but it wouldn't work on Bill, of course. But the normal guys have not demonstrated any super strength, so. The rest of you give me a awareness roll as y'all start searching the house.
Sure.
If you've got any kind of investigation specialty or something like that, it would factor in.
Dang, I got 2 10s in a row, or 2 6s in a row.
6 is the number to beat. And let's see.
Ooh, 12.
And Curtis, I think, rolled before me, so that 10. All right, so that 10 beats the 6. Boogeyman got a 12.
It's not big.
Whippet also rolled ahead of me. Whippet got a 7. All right, so everybody beats the roll. Whippet. Whippet rolled the lowest. So walking into the kitchen, you see a laptop laying in the floor. It was probably on the kitchen table when the guy grabbed the kitchen table. It looks like some sort of video call software is currently open.
Oh.
There's not currently a call. The software is just still open.
Cool.
In fact, the little message basically is saying that the other person ended the call.
Does it say who it was connected to? And can we recall them?
It just says the professor. The professor has ended the call. And you should be able to, Whippet's the one looking at it, but yeah, she should be able to hit it and try to call him back anyway. It's like a Zoom call; they'd have to answer. But
good news, we have Bill available, big air quotes. If we want to try and bullshit our way through.
But let me get to everybody else right quick, because Whippet's messing with that while everybody else is searching other rooms or whatever. Let's see. Massive success for the influencer and boogeyman. Searching other rooms, you find more of their weaponry. They have a lot of medicine. Or at least it's all in like medicine type containers and stuff.
Any
Lots of
labels?
Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
All of it's labeled. Not necessarily like official company labels.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like this was kind of printed out. I won't say themselves, because they probably not the one. Whoever bottled the stuff probably printed it themselves. But it's got directions to take it. How to take it. Doesn't specifically say what it's for. Where if you get a prescription or buy over the counter, something, it'll say what it's for. This doesn't have that. It just has the instructions for how often to take it and why to take it. Some of it's for like flare ups. Some of it's for or not. It didn't say flare ups. Some of it's for when acute symptoms arise, and some of it's to help. Some of it's for chronic symptoms. So it sounds like some of it they take all the time, and some of it's for like they're having an issue.
Okay, so just generic descriptions. Of
Right.
purpose.
Does it have a name of the drug on the bottle?
Think into ground Pernod.
Both of them have chemical names that just off the top of your heads don't mean anything to you.
Boogie's gonna take a pill each from the bottles and photograph all the labels.
Okay.
As in, take them and put them in a little bag. He's not shoving.
I was about to ask you if you were gonna get a glass of water to go with them, to get them down. But there's that. You find, in their personal effects, you find their wallets. They didn't carry those on mission with them, but they've got identification. Bill is actually named Bill. Bill Banks, I think it was. Let me double check. Oh wait, no, I didn't put his name on the. Big Bill Banks is what his name is, but I didn't put it on the handout, so y'all couldn't get his name by looking at the handout. And you get the other guys' names; they're not as important. A short time later, the police pull up. They all park on the street where the street still looks like a street. None of them are parking on the middle. How did the asphalt turn to steel? How did the sidewalk turn? How is the grass? Oh, don't walk in the grass. It's shredding the bottom of my shoes.
No.
So one brave soul starts approaching the house. Hey, is it safe to walk on this out here?
We'll give the thumbs
Yeah,
up.
like, once we get these guys contained, I'll, like, undo it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Influencer, how are you holding up, Influencer?
Oh, I'm good for now, but we need to, I need to unload him pretty quick.
Yeah, this time, like, let's wait till he's, like, off the ground.
So the police come in, they cuff the regular guys.
Does Spear have a flying unit coming in?
Yes, the flying unit, they had initially begun to scramble. They've got it out. It's on the way. Please let you know as soon as they walk in. Oh yes, Shield's already. Spear is already scrambling.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Legally distinct. Legally distinct.
And once he's in the plane, I'll exit and pat him on the shoulder. It's like, have fun in jail, buddy.
I will be right there as soon as I see Influencer come out to grab him and move him far enough back to not get chest kicked.
You just
No. He won't learn his lesson if you keep saving him.
So as you're zipping out the door, you just Influencer, and Scatterboy, you just hear Big Bill, I hate you so much. Next time I run into you, pretty boy, I'm going to kick a field goal with you.
When I'm out on the plane, I'll be like, you thought it was pretty.
That's a takeaway.
You also notice that one Spear agent, the one that was giving you the dirty look when you threw them under the bus earlier, looks disappointed when Scatterboy grabs you and drags you out. But they get everybody loaded up. They load everybody into the flyer because even the relatively normal guys seem to have that Earth traveling power. So, once they're gone, I assume Scatterboy drops the steel effect. One of the officers is like, that is some of the neatest things I've ever seen.
Hopefully it doesn't have a toxin that just, kills the lawn.
It used to be used by, like, a guy who was, like, trying to be Midas. He was, like, turning everything into gold and selling it. But it had, like, a time on it. So he was, like, cheating everybody out of stuff.
Oh, like a superpowered con man.
And then like the spreaders, just like it was kind of just for like painting. So I just like helped design a thing to help spread the power out over a large area instead of like poking one thing at a time.
I'm picturing Skater Boy holding the cobbled together device,
Yeah, just showing
showing
where
him the different
it's...
pieces.
Yeah.
A couple of the officers are kind of nodding like, yeah, yeah. One dude seems to actually be kind of, fascinated by it. He's probably more the gadget guy, into tech as a hobby sort of thing.
But oh well. Back in the pocket it goes, and I'll just put my entire arm into the Jordan and pull it out, and back to nothing.
The guy that had been fascinated by the device. Are your shorts like the TARDIS?
I like had a girlfriend in college who like did magic. She like made sure my jorts had like all the space they needed for like my stuff.
You hear one of the officers. I bet she made sure there was room for your stuff.
I get that, but like, please be respectful.
He's like, yeah. Let's see here. So they get a statement from you. It's there's not a lot to it. They don't ask you just a ton of questions. They know you're at the previous fight. Clearly, you investigated and tracked these guys down after that because it's been a very short period of time. This is only like an hour or so. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later. Again, the press shows up. They seem real impressed with how quickly you tracked them down.
Boogeyman gives a big props to our pilot for his tracking ability, for his skills operating the VTOL.
The pilot does not come out of the VTOL to address or be photographed. He seems pleased to get the props, but
Yeah.
he drives the car. He stays with the car, so to speak. Now the cops did have everybody loaded up before they got here this time. So they're asking if it was the same guys as any other. They really want to know how you defeated the big guy that was throwing cars around.
Before the press arrives, I would like to address with the team, do we mention the professor or not? Do we leave that tucked away? And this is also to our liaison.
I say tucked away.
Yeah.
I'd say tucked away also.
Offerman's fine with whatever y'all want to do. This is kind of, this is y'all's Bollowick.
All right.
It's not like the professor is some,
This is not the first time we've heard of the professor, is it?
It's the
As
first time
players,
these
no,
characters have. It is not the first time
these
the players
characters.
have.
Right.
It is not the first time the players have heard of it, but the characters have not heard the professor. Oh yeah, I think was somebody going to try to call him back? Initially.
Yeah. Let's. Oh well, we gave Bill up, so.
Well, you'd have a couple of minutes. You'd have a few minutes while you were searching the house, and after you searched the house, when the cops showed up. I just forgot to come back to it before we moved on.
We can give it a shot.
So you hit the call back button. The call gets answered. You can't really see the man. Everything's dark. You just sort of see the shadowy outline of a person sitting in a chair.
Of course, just the shadowy outline.
Calling back already, Bill.
Yes, we had some pest control problems we had to take care of.
Oh, I take it this fight went better than the first one then.
Oh yeah.
Give me a willpower roll there, Influencer.
Willpower?
Yep. If you've got any sort of specialty for lying or acting, you can throw that in there. Whoa.
Nice.
13 is the number to beat.
Oh, never mind. I thought that 13 was influencers.
Nope. Influencer rolled a 10.
Well,
It was
no,
not a bad
hey.
roll.
Hey,
Yeah.
I rolled pretty good. It's just
Yeah.
that
A little better.
The
Professor's a
prof
little
got
better.
a max roll. Yes. How did you handle the influencer this time?
I clocked him before he had a chance to step in.
Oh, step in. That's an interesting way to put it. Considering in our previous conversation, you had no idea what it was he had done to you. Other than clearly take control.
I may be, a big dumb brute, but I have my moments of eloquence.
You are not, well, Mr. Banks is not a big dumb brute. He is big, but only a brute when he needs to be. Only when it's the appropriate actions. I suspect that I'm speaking to Mr. Goodman at the moment. That is a fascinating ability you have. I shall have to study it someday.
Good luck with that.
At this point, I'll step into camera view. So, like, do you want to, like, monologue what your plan is? Or
You might as well. Since we're about to die, you might as well tell us the whole plot. Oh, wait.
Or are you like one of those like new age guys who's like super respectful of his grunts and like manages his like books super secretly and is like really annoying to like handle?
I'm not much of a monologuer, but I'm not sure about the latter part either. Just be sure when you pack poor Bill and his men off to shield, I'm doing it again, to Spear, to send his medication along. They need it to stabilize. It's be a rather rough way to go if they don't have their medicine.
Do they like
So is that
die?
something?
They become unstable. Death is a possibility. I have not experimented by simply letting them die. That would be, wasteful and fairly horrific.
And you're after like Technicky because she stole from you, right?
She did rather put my powered armor project behind, yes. But I've probably given you enough information now. You know she's a criminal, right? She's making her living as a thief all this time.
Yeah, but like she hasn't like gotten caught enough for us to get involved.
My men hadn't gotten caught doing anything, and you got involved.
They like punched a building in half.
That was
and like threw a car.
Clearly, that was the side effect of them fighting to bring in this criminal. At least I assure you, the high-paid lawyers that will come to their defense will argue that.
Do you? Oh, you're like one of those guys. Okay. I will hold up my phone that's recording the call.
Oh yes, I'm extremely worried about you filming a shadow.
No, it's just like the voice. I just needed the recording that the high-paid lawyers were from a supervillain.
And everyone knows you can trust a supervillain.
Yeah.
I will have
I've got
to...
like... yeah?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
I've got like 30 years of experience of like trusting my supervillains. It always like works out.
That's fair, Mr. Sagittarius. I have I should know better than to underestimate an experienced hero such as yourself. Clearly, your mental faculties are in far better shape than the last report I had on you. I'm going to watch your team with great interest. But I must go. I have, so many irons in the fire. And the call shuts down again. And then you hear the sirens and everybody shows up and all that jazz. All right, but y'all decide to keep the knowledge of the professor to yourself.
Yeah.
But definitely let our liaison have that full recorded call.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get back to base, they'll, Dennis will put that through, or put that in the system. Offerman's real happy. Hey, it's good press. No damage to the surrounding neighborhood. Heck, even the house you fought in, a couple of busted windows was the extent of the damage. Could not ask for an operation to go smoother than that. They were talking about that first fight for most of the day, and by the evening news, they'll be talking about they'll have this second one. You guys look great out there. I'm gonna keep looking around for a teamwork, trainer. But truthfully, I think y'all's teamwork is developing pretty good on its own.
I do have like one concern for us though.
What is that?
As you guys know, I'm not like super strong, but I am like our best bet when it comes to like standing in front of stuff. We may want to invest in like better body armor because we are missing like the key component of most super teams of like the tough guy.
Offerman kind of nods.
Like between me and like Whipbat and Boogeyman, we've got like good combat. Like we can fight, but like there's no one to take like a car to the face, which is like a pretty big thing to have to handle. My spray on knee pads are like keeping us okay, but like we may need a little bit more if big super powered guys are going to keep showing up.
He goes, well, we could get you some, Kevlar, some, typical body armor sort of stuff. It might hurt maneuverability for some of you, and I'm not sure that would help with a car.
It's just like it feels like that's the. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I for one am grateful for Skater Boy and Boogeyman's tech skills.
Mm-hmm.
Offerman nods. Oh, yes.
Your life so far.
Offerman asks, do you have any idea who this professor is? Could he be an established villain?
I could put out some feelers. I'm not gonna name names. I have sources.
He did like give us a big hint on like people that might be attached to him.
Oh, in what way?
Well, like we know like Tech Nicky stole a suit from him. But he still mentioned like an entire armor-suited project. So if there's like any big squads of armor-powered people that have showed up like recently, they can be kind of put on like a comprehensive list of like they might be what the professor was mentioning.
Well,
Like hero
I
or villain.
may be making a leap here, but it sure sounded like they got their burrowing powers by some sort of engineering process of the professors.
Yeah, he seems like
based
a
on
real
what he said to
classic.
me, it does sound like he is interested in bioengineering supers.
Dennis is like, just kind of an all-around super tech mastermind. Great.
Like,
I'll get working on that information on any you hear tippity tappity. Y'all are sitting around a conference table with Offerman, but Dennis is still in the command center. You hear his tippity tappity.
well, and of course I'll mention our shop bud that we met and his skill sets.
Yes, Offerman's very interested. He knows the company will be very interested in that man's technology. They'll have to make.
I do gotta step away for a minute. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, no problem. He wants his independence, but developing that technology's got to be expensive. They might be able to make an offer to him to fund it, or help fund it. And they get like first shot at licensing the tech or something when he's finished. That's something for the company bigwigs to worry about. But Offerman is definitely believes they'll be interested.
Yeah. Like the way he was talking, it's probably going to be like better to go for his secondary inventions and not try to go for like his passion project.
Might be a good idea. But anyway, good job. I know y'all were training all day before this happened, so I recommend hitting the showers and then relaxing for the evening. Later that evening, let's see, who would he call? Would he call Skater Boy or Influencer? Both of you left pretty good impressions on him. Even Curtis, Odd Taylor. Skater Boy, you get a call from Danny Jumbuck.
Like, hello?
Hey, is this Skater Boy? This is Danny Jumbuck. We met earlier today.
Yeah, Super Tech. What's up?
So, I was a little hesitant to talk too much about Nikki around the police.
Because her being like a criminal thief and all like that.
Well, she's wanted for questioning and some stuff, and I don't know the details of that. I've been working with her for I don't know. I guess we've had a working relationship for the last. Man, has it been 6 months already? It started up just for that whole Payroll takeover thing. So 6 or 7 months, but really only a couple of those months when we were really us. But she helped me out with some primo salvage. She kind of lets me study her older suits or her damaged stuff, and I give her access to the fabricator to like make the parts she needs for stuff. We were just finishing up with that new suit of hers, and like I said, the misprinted part you saw, that was her making some spare parts for the components that get damaged the most. All that sort of outside armored stuff. Well, you know how superhero fights go. And I guess whoever it is that's been tracking her must have realized that she popped by my place a few times. But
Yeah, man. I am a little bit like worried because like there is like a villain kind of guy behind it. You know, there were superpowered guys coming to fight. They're usually hired by like a supervillain guy.
yeah. Okay.
So I am worried about like your stuff.
Ooh.
Because like a guy that wants to build like essentially like mechanical suits and stuff is tracking her and then saw you as potentially someone who can like possibly like speed him up or like make more stuff for him. So like you may need to get like in contact with someone to keep you like safe.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to budget for security now. Drat.
And like I hate to like bring this up, but like Futuro could like probably protect you. I know it's not like what you want to do.
I don't trust the big companies. And the way Furo's been gobbling up smaller tech firms.
Yeah, I understand.
And that BS of trying to make people honor contracts they sign while they're mind controlled. I trust them as far as I can throw.
Are you like super strong?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you like don't trust that. I get that.
No. I mean, you guys seem to be on the level.
Well, I know like the other ones are. I'm here because they like bought my doctor.
Oh, are they blackmailing you?
No. Like he got hired by Futuro, and he was like the guy I was going to help develop a medicine for me.
Oh, and they're letting him like still work on that while they're okay.
Yeah.
That's still not great, but not as terrible as it sounded at first. But hey, if you guys need some assistance, you feel free to call on me. You know, I owe you a big one for this.
Do you have like some of the pre-made stuff on like the outer shell of her armor? Because we're looking into like getting a little bit more resistant to like bullets and stuff.
Oh, so you
and like her armor seemed like real flexible.
It is. It's pretty lightweight. The stuff's pretty lightweight too. Yeah, we could probably do you some not full powered armor. I don't.
Do you think you could get like a downgraded version of that and like maybe like let Futuro kind of deck us out in it with like a contract to you where they like pay for your security and you supply us that? That way, like they're not touching your actual business, but you're
they're just
supplying
buying from me.
Yeah.
That sounds fair enough.
All right, like thanks, man.
You know, I'll have to talk to Futuro and work out the deal.
Oh yeah, like stuff will have to be like set in paper.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, we can definitely start discussing that.
But this way, like Futuro's happy because they're like interested in you. You're happy because you're like getting the security you need, and we're happy because we're like getting armor. Like I think it could be like a 3-way win.
That's really what businesses should all aim for, but they never do.
That's like fair.
But yeah, I'll definitely give them a call and we can start discussing that. Yeah, a little bit of small talk and then he gets off the phone.
Yeah, hang up. Like, Offerman, did you get that?
Let's see, you'd have gotten a call just somewhere in the facility. So yeah, there's no reply from Offerman. I mean, they're not supposed to be monitoring to you constantly. Though if you were wearing your comm, Dennis might have overheard.
Oh well.
But
I'll tell it to him in the morning.
Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap here for now because it's just after 4. Hope everybody had a good time. I enjoyed this session.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hope anybody that comes by and watches or listens to the replays, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you join us again. We should be doing this in 2 weeks. Because let's see, Father's Day is next week.
Yep.
All right, so that won't be a game day. So yeah, the 22nd we should be good. So again, I was your GM for the day, Jason, and with me has been Marigold as the boogeyman,
Thank you for joining us.
Curtis as the influencer,
Laters.
Mike as Whippet,
Mhm.
and Taylor as Skater Boy.
See you.
And we will see y'all next time.